matter whether people are eager to hear it or not, but it is auspicious. It will create an atmosphere which is very, very congenial to the human society. That should be our principle. Not that because we are chanting, nobody is taking care, we shall not be disappointed. This Sankirtan movement is so nice that simply by chanting, the vibration will create an auspicious atmosphere. Very honest of people. Now, you can practically see those who are old members. So I began in this New York, in that storefront, simply by chanting. So I did not bribe you American boys and girls to come after me. This only asset was chanting. That Tompkinson, this Brahmananda Swami, he first came to dance with my chant. He and Achyutananda, that was the first dancing of our Krishna conscious movement. Yes. And I had no mridangas. That was a, what is that? Drum, little drum. So I was chanting Hare Krishna from 2 to 5, 3 hours. And so many boys and girls were coming and joining. And there was first photograph in the Times, New York Times. They appreciated, and people also appreciated. So this chanting, the beginning was only chanting. There was nothing more. At that time there was no program of prasad distribution. That later on it came. So we should always be confident that this chanting is not a vibration of this material world. This is not vibration of material. Narottam Das Thakur says, Golokera prema dhana hari nama sankir. It is imported from the spiritual world. It is completely spiritual. Otherwise, how it is possible? Sometimes the so-called yogis, they say that chanting in Bombay, there is a so-called rascal, he says the chanting of Hare Krishna mantra and chanting of Coca-Cola is the same. He is such a rascal. He does not know that this is not a vibration of this material world, but one who has no knowledge, they think that what is the meaning of this chant? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. But they can practically see that we can go on chanting day and night, still we shall not become tired. But any other material name you take, after chanting 3 times you will feel tired. That is the proof. You can go on chanting day and night, you will never feel tired. So these people, poor people, they have no brain to understand. Anyway, the chanting is so auspicious. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given his benediction, Cheta Darpana Marjanam Bhava Mahadabhagni Nidvapanam. We are suffering in this material world because we are not cleansed of our understanding or of our heart. The heart is not cleansed. So this chanting will help us to cleanse the heart. Sinnatang sakatha Krishna punna savana kirtana riddantastha avadrani vidhunati suhissata. Chanting is so nice that as soon as you take to chanting or hear about Krishna, the chanting is also hearing about Krishna. So immediately the cleansing process begins. Chetadattanamarjana. And as soon as our heart is cleansed, bhavamahadavagni nidvapanam, then we become free from the blazing fire of this material existence. So, chanting is so auspicious. Therefore, Parikshit Maharaj, Sukadeva Goswami says, Baryane sati prasna, krito loka hitang nipa. In another place also, Sukadeva Goswami, Suta Goswami says, Jatkita Krishna sam prasna, jayatma sam prasidati. When the great saintly persons in the Naimisharanya inquired about Krishna, he replied like that, Jatkita Krishna sang prasna. Because you have inquired about Krishna, it will cleanse your heart. Jeno atma samprasidati. You will feel a very transcendental bliss, comfort within your heart. So, Baryane sati prasna krita lokahitam. Lokahitam. Actually, this movement is the prime welfare activities to the human society. Lokahitam. It is not a business. Business means my hitam, my benefit only. It is not. It is Krishna's business. Krishna's business means Krishna is for everyone. Therefore, Krishna's business is meant for everyone. We therefore welcome everyone. There is no distinction. Come here and chant Lokahitam. And a sadhu, a saintly person, should always think of Lokahitam. That is the difference between sadhu and ordinary man. Ordinary man, he thinks only of himself or expanded himself for family, for community, for society, for nation. These are all expanded selfishness. Expanded. When I'm alone, I'm thinking of my benefit only. When I'm little grown up, I think of my brothers and sisters. And when I'm little advanced, I think of my family. Little advanced, I think of my community. Little advanced, I think of my country, my nation. Or I can think of the whole human society internationally. But Krishna is so big that Krishna includes everyone. Not only human society, animal society, bird society, bee society, tree society, everything. Krishna says, Aham bija pradapita. I am the seed-giving father of all these forms. There are 8,400,000 different kinds of forms. Krishna claims all of them are my part and parcel, living entities, but they are now covered by different dress only, but they are living entities. This is Krishna consciousness vision. Therefore, one who is actually Krishna conscious, Pandita Samadarshina. Pandita, he does not see the outward dress. He sees the living entity encased in this particular type of body. So he has no concern with the body. Therefore, a sadhu always thinks of everyone's benefit. Just like Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, or the Goswamis, it is said, Lokanang hitakarino tribhuvane manno, because they were benefactor for all kinds of living entities. Therefore, they were honored tribhuvane in 3 worlds. Tribhuvane, lokanang hitaka, nana shastra vicharanaika nipuno. The sadhu's business is for the benefit of all living entities. A sadhu does not like to cut even a tree because he knows here is a living entity. He is standing here for many years by his karma, and he has to continue this for many years more. So he cannot avoid this because it is nature's law. Just like if you are put into prison for 6 months, nobody can save you. Nobody can make you one day less than 6 months. So we get our particular type of body. We have to remain in that body for a certain period by the laws of nature. So by cutting the body, the living entity does not die, but because we check the continuation of his period, therefore he becomes sinful. You cannot cut even a tree without Krishna's purpose. Without Krishna's purpose, we cannot kill even an ant, we cannot cut even a tree. Then we shall be liable to punishment. So, a sadhu sees that here is also a living entity. Pandita samadar, vidya vinaya sampanni, brahmani, gavi, hastini, sunichi, cha supaki. Pandita samadar. Pandit does not make any discrimination that here is an animal, here is a man. No, he sees the animal is also part and parcel of Krishna. He has got a different body. And the man also, he is also part and parcel of Krishna. He has got a different body. Karmana, according to one's karma, he is put into different time. So, lokahita. Now, this Krishna Sang Prashna, this question and answer about Krishna, if we simply hear, that is recommendation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sthane sthita sutigatang tanuvang manobhi. You remain in your position, but you try to hear about Krishna. That is it. Simply you come in this temple and try to hear about Krishna. Sthane sthita sutigatang tanuvang. That will purify. Krishna, Kirtan, Krishna's name is so powerful. Simply if you hear Krishna, 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 you become purified. You become purified. Therefore it is said, Variyane sati prasna krito loka hidananipo atmavit sammata. Atmavit. It is not that I am only eulogizing Atmavit sammata. All great personalities who is self-realized. Atmavit. Atmavit means one who knows Atma. General people, they do not know Atma. But Atmavit means one who knows Atma. Aham Brahmasmi. I am spirit soul, I am not this body. And one who is well acquainted about this Atma Tattva. So unless one becomes aware of this Atma Tattva, whatever he is doing, he is being defeated. They are saying, generally people, they are thinking that I am now constructing this big skyscraper building, I am successful, I have become Rothschild, I have become Ford. That is not Atmavit. Atmavit, because he is materially opulent, that does not mean Atmavit. That's subject matter will be discussed in the next verse. Apasadam atmatattam. One who cannot see is Atma. Griheshu griyamedina. They are compact in this materialistic way of life. Griheshu griyamedina. Their condition is very Actually, this is the position of the whole world. They are not Atmavid. They do not inquire. Atmatattam. Therefore, they are less intelligent. In the airport, I say that our propaganda is to make people more intelligent. They might not have taken it very nicely. They thought that this poor Swami has come to make us intelligent. But actually, that is the fact. That is the fact. This is not intelligence. That bodily concept of life, I spoil my whole life for bodily comforts, and then after giving up this body, I become a cat and dog. Then what is that intelligence? Is that very good intelligence? Actually, it has happened. I do not wish to discuss how our Godbrother Siddhan Maharaj, he was speaking from a paper that one of our great politicians in India, he has now become a dog in Sweden. It is published. There were inquiries about some prominent man in India, and he has answered, and one of the answer is, such and such politician is now one of the 2 dogs of a gentleman in Sweden. You see? So, this time, in this life, I may become very big man, big politician, big diplomat, big businessman. But next life, after your death, it is your greatness of this material will not help you. That will depend on your work. And nature will offer you a certain type of body you'll have to accept. Of course, you'll forget. That is the concession given by nature. Just like we do not remember what we had been in our past life. If I remember that suppose I was a king in my past life, now I have become a dog, then how much suffering it will be. Therefore, by nature's law, one forgets. And death means this forgetfulness. Death means this forgetfulness. So this is a great science. People do not know it. Our Krishna consciousness movement is very scientific, authorized. So our business is to enlighten people as far as possible, and at the same time, we must remain enlightened. We may not be again covered by the darkness of Maya. That we should be. That you can keep yourself very fit not to be covered by the Maya. Mami vaja prapadanti mayami tang taranti. If you very strictly adhere to the principle of Krishna consciousness, then Maya will not be able to touch you. That is the only remedy. Otherwise, Maya is always looking after the opportunity, loophole, how she can capture you again. But if you remain strictly in Krishna consciousness, Maya will not be able to do anything. Mami vaja prapadanti daividjisa gunamai mama maya durutta. It is very difficult to get out of the clutches of Maya. It is very difficult. But Krishna says, Mami vaja prapadanti mayami tang taranti. If one is strictly adherent to the lotus feet of Krishna, always, therefore this program is 24 hours thinking of Krishna. Satatam, chintayat Krishna. Kirtaniya sadahari. These are the recommendations. So if we simply think of Krishna, if you cannot do anything, simply think of it. That is the highest meditational purpose. So, always chant Hare Krishna mantra be in touch with Krishna in so many ways, then you are secure. Maya will not be able to touch you. And if we can somewhere or other pass our days, and at the time of death we remember Krishna, then the whole life is successful. Thank you very much.
He is taking care of us. But we are unaware of it. The relationship is there, but we forgot Krishna. So Prabhupada came here to remind us about that. And that's what Krishna consciousness is. And that's why we see that whenever it's presented, people accept it with such eagerness, such enthusiasm. And that is what Krishna consciousness is. And how does that reminding take place? How does that awareness happen? It happens through some simple process. That process Srila Prabhupada gave. The first consideration is chant. Chant and be happy. Is it a cliche? Is it just a proverb like Prabhupada spoke? No, it's a reality. Chant and be happy. Chant with that proper awareness. What does it mean when you chant? What do you become aware of? I don't need anything else. I have the holy name. That's all. I don't need anything else. So the craving for something automatically disappears. People want to be happy by getting things, desiring things. Like that's also another consideration. Happiness, what's the definition of happiness? I mean, there are many definitions. One of the ways to understand happiness is fulfillment of desire. We desire, when the desire is fulfilled, we are happy. But when you don't have any desire, when you realize you have everything, there is nothing more to get, then what happens? Automatically you become happy. And chanting actually reminds you about your relationship with Krishna. It reminds you that all you need is Krishna. And Krishna is everything that you need. So that is the first consideration. Chant the holy name. Srila Prabhupada did not kind of concoct this process. Prabhupada actually repeated what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave. Representing Srila Prabhupada, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Prabhupada just gave this process. Chant. So the first consideration is chant. But how to chant? Offenselessly. Don't chant offensively. That's why during the initiation we take a vow. We are not going to commit these 10 offenses. That is called pure chanting. Chanting with offenses is impure chanting. So don't chant offensively. Get rid of these offenses. And chant attentively. One of the most important instructions that is also, although not included in 10 offenses, but it is there. What do you say after 10 offenses? It's also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. That's because it's taken for granted. Taken for granted that, when you're chanting, be serious. Chant attentively. And what is attentive chanting? Attentive chanting is hearing while chanting. It's a sound vibration. How do you receive sound vibration? Do you receive sound vibration with your hands? Catch it? Do you receive the sound vibration by any other means but hearing? Therefore, hearing is very, very important. So Prabhupada said that hear and chant. Shravana, Kirtans. So that is the first consideration. Offense-less chanting and hearing attentively. Sometimes Prabhupada, somebody asks, But Prabhupada, the mind, before he, just as he said mind, Prabhupada said, what is mind? He interrupted him. What is mind? There is no mind. Just here. Meaning, your mind should be only in your ears, nowhere else. Mind should be only in here. And although the standard is 64 rounds, but Prabhupada, seeing our condition, mercifully reduced it to 16. Mahaprabhu's standard is 64 rounds, but Prabhupada brought it down to 16. Actually, during, I don't know whether you all were here at that time, during Prabhupada's Vyas Puja here, I was noticed, I heard one devotee, one godbrother of ours, was admitting honestly that he didn't chant for so many years. It's honest admission, that's fine, but it should be. We should remember that we took a vow. Taking a vow and breaking that vow is very, very serious. So when you have taken a vow to chant 16 rounds every day, please make it a point to chant 16 rounds every day. Don't neglect your chanting. Always remember that the chanting is the most important thing. Your entire spiritual life is depending on chanting. Not by any other means you are going to go back to God. In this age especially. Meditation is not the way, the Ashtanga Yoga. Meditation, chanting is meditation. Actually, chanting should be meditative chanting. Hearing means meditation. Mantra, mind should be completely absorbed in it. That's a real meditation. But I'm talking about the Dhyana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, which is the process for Satya Yoga, is not applicable in this age. Fire sacrifice, which is the process for Treta Yoga, is also not the process for this age. Deity worship, which is the process for the age of Dwapara Yoga, is not the process for this age. The process for this age is Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Kevalam, Kalo Naste, Naste, Naste. So in the age of Kali, besides chanting the holy name of the Lord, there is no other way, there is no other way. So please make it a point to chant very nicely. And chant your 16 rounds. I know it's difficult for you. When you're working, your time is short, but what to do? Find the time. Adjust it in such a way that you find it. Like, you make your schedule. I'm not saying that during your office hours you should chant. That's also not desirable. When somebody is employing you, he's expecting your full attention in serving your job. Sometimes I get to hear from the devotees that, there you go. Yeah, I told you. Don't bite your nails. So, sometimes some people who employ devotees, they told me that actually it's problematic to employ devotees. Because they're devotees, you have to tolerate them chanting during the office hours. During the office hours, he's going Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. On some occasions, the Vaishnava festival, they want a holiday. And things like that. I mean, so you see, one thing always remember, the devotees are the best people in this world. Best people means they do everything in the perfect way. When you are doing something, do it in the best possible. Did you get a lesson when you were young? At the time of your study, you study. At the time of your play, you play. So play well when you're playing, and study well when you're studying. You're supposed to study. Don't study at the time of play and don't play at the time of study. So similarly, practice your Krishna consciousness at a scheduled time. You design your thing in such a way that you are able to do that. That I live up to. Sometimes, of course, I can see that the young mothers, they have difficulty with their children, especially after childbirth. These special occasions we can understand. They can consider, okay, I tell them, okay, chant the holy name without counting to your child. When you're taking care of the child, say, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. That is called countless chanting. Without counting. That's even better. But make it a point to do it 24 hours a day. So, and follow the four regulative principles. But at the same time, I will say that don't make it too rigid. Make it joyful. Krishna consciousness should be executed happily. Follow the four regulative principles. No meat eating, no non-vegetarian food. Because sometimes I see people, those who are working outside, they say, Maharaja, what do I do? I have to eat outside. I tell them, okay, eat outside. But make it a point that it's vegetarian. If you can't really be, like it happens, like devotees staying, they're employed in their service. They have to go to some place, staying in a hotel. Should they starve? Like one devotee was going to Mongolia. I said, Guru Maharaj, what should I do? I said, eat whatever is vegetarian. If you can't maintain such purity, it doesn't matter. Once Prabhupada told me that by maintaining the purity of food, one cannot. Prabhupada says, it is not possible to maintain the purity of food in this nature. Therefore, Krishna gave the holy name. Prabhupada, I didn't ask Prabhupada, but what I understood from them, that just by maintaining the strict standard of food, you're not going to make your spiritual perfection. Your spiritual perfection will come from chanting. So, my point is, don't make things too difficult. Rather, execute it happily. What's the point in making it too rigid, too difficult, and you do it for 6 months and then say, okay, I can't do it. Let me just leave Iskcon. Don't make it happen like that. If it is difficult, okay, make the adjustment. So, these four regulative principles, my point will be just maintain the standard. Try not to make it too rigid, too difficult. Because another thing that I am saying is that it is not that, we will achieve perfection straight away. But the point is, let us achieve perfection in due course of time. Let us keep on moving towards the positive direction. If I can't achieve perfection right now, let's keep endeavoring so that in course of time, gradually I can achieve perfection. So that will be my second consideration, that execute Krishna consciousness happily. And third consideration is read Prabhupada's books regularly. Vaisheshika Prabhu, I don't know whether you know him, he's a wonderful devotee. Like, he's so committed to book distribution. He used to be one of the biggest book distributors in the world. And he's so committed to book distribution that even when he was working, he used to go out distributing books. That also reminds me another devotee here, Sarada Devidasi, so was true. She's working and she goes out distributing books. So that shows that it is possible, like if you're committed, and so that is Vaisheshika Prabhu was still, and he was outside, meaning had a family, he had a job, and so he was not in the mainstream of Iskcon for many years. But he maintained his Krishna consciousness. I used to be in touch with him, and I saw that he has such a wonderful standard of Krishna consciousness. At one point he actually made that in order to read all of Prabhupada's books, if you make a plan to read all of Srila Prabhupada's books in 5 years' time, you have to read 5 pages every day. If you want to read Srimad Bhagavatam in 1 year's time, you have to read 41 pages a day. So this is how you can plan. That I want to read Prabhupada's books, all of Srila Prabhupada's books. Or we can make a plan. I will read Bhagavad Gita in 3 months' time. Then you divide the pages by 90. And you'll get what will be a daily quota. And make it a point to read that many pages. I thought that was a very nice way to conduct our meeting. We must systematize everything. Like, if we don't, then we won't be able to bring the discipline. Vaisheshika Prabhu also made a nice point about telephone ringing. He said that in the classes or in the lectures, I don't tell people to switch off their phones. I tell them to switch on their phones. And whenever the phone rings, he'll have to buy a Bhagavatam set. I thought that's also brilliant. So whose phone rang? Do you have Bhagavatam set at home? Then you can buy one and give it to me. Anyway, I won't penalize you because I didn't tell you the condition. But from now on, at least in my class, remind everybody wherever one comes to this program. So anyway, take your spiritual life very seriously. And again, I'll remind you, I'm not expecting perfection right now. But please strive for the perfection. So this is how you mold your life according to Srila Prabhupada's teachings. Okay.
Hare Krishna. Jai His Divine Grace, Abhay Charan Arvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki, Srimad Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj ki, Srila Prabhupada Memorial Festival ki, Srimad Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj 78th Vyas Puja celebration ki, World Holy Name Week Festival ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, all present great souls ki, Anant Koti Gaur Bhakta Vrind ki, और प्रेमानंदे today. So we request one thing, all devotees थोड़ा आगे आ जाइए ताकि जो भक्त पीछे आए उनको असुविधा ना हो. So now you will sing a song. Srila Prabhupada wrote an Vyas Puja offering to his spiritual master Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur in 1935. That was 62nd Vyas Puja of his spiritual master. That is known as My Lord and Master, His Divine Grace. So it was liked so much by Srila Bhakti Thakur that he told, whatever Abhay Babu publishes, print it. Whatever he writes, print it. So following that, Guru Maharaj translated the same song into Bengali. It is known as She Shubha Dine Aradhana Kari. So it is sung on the Vyas Puja day. So we will sing this song, She Shubha Dine Aradhana Kari. And it will be shown on the LED screen, so devotees can follow that. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. She Shubha Dine Aradhana Kare Jagare Jagat Vashi Chaitra Madhu Sharga Medu Shubha Laganir Rashi. सब भक्त लोग एक साथ बोलिए. श्री शुभ दिने
जागरे जगत वासी चैत्र मधुर सर्ग शुभ लगनेर राशि
যেদিন আমার হৃদয়ের রাজ গুরুদেব মহারাজ পুতপুরী ধামে প্রকাশে আপনি হরে পৃথিবীর ত্রাণ.
যেদিন আমার হৃদয়ের রাজ গুরুদেব মহারাজ পুতপুরী ধামে প্রকাশী আপনি হরে পৃথিবীর ত্রাণ.
দেবদূত সম গুরু মহারাজ আলোকে প্লাবিত করো জীবন যুদ্ধে পরাজিত ভয় সন্ত্রাস হর. দেবদূত
সম গুরু মহারাজ আলোকে প্লাবিত কর জীবন যুদ্ধে পরাজিত ভয় সন্ত্রাস হর.
দুর্লভতম মানব জীবন তথাপি ভরসাহীন তব কৃপা বিনা
ভরসাহি তব কৃপা বিনা আমি অসহায় অপারগ উদাসী
মায়ার প্রভাবে আপন স্বভাবে সদাই ধমমতি ত্রাণ করুই অধম জনের কৃপা বিনা নাহি গতি মায়ার প্রভাবে
আপন স্বভাবে সদাই অধমমতি ত্রাণ করয়ে অধম জনের কৃপা বিনা নাই গতি
জীব কল্যাণী তব অবদান জগতে ঘোষিত তব শ্রীচরণ আমার জীবন গুরুদেব মহারাজ
জীব কল্যাণে তব অবদান জগতে ঘোষিত তব শ্রীচরণ আমার জীবন গুরুদেব মহারাজ
কৃষ্ণকে ভুলে মায়ার কবলে ক্লেশ পাই অবিরত মরুভূমি মাঝে মৃগতৃষা সম প্রলোভন ভরে হত কৃষ্ণকে ভুলে
মায়ার কবলে ক্লেশ পাই অবিরত মরুভূমি মাঝে মৃগতৃষা সম প্রলোভন ভরে হত
বিভীষিকা ভরা অন্ধ তিমির মানিস সমমানি মম আশায়াজ গুরু মহারাজ তব শ্রীমুখের বাণী
বিভীষিকা ভরা অন্ধ তিমির অমানিসা সমমানি মম আশায়াজ গুরু মহারাজ তব শ্রীমুখের বাণী
ভক্তির বাণী পৃথিবীতে আনি জীবে দয়া হল সারা সব অবতার সার শিরোমণি গৌর প্রভুর ধারা ভক্তির বাণী
পৃথিবীতে আনি জীবে দয়া হলো সারা সবয় অবতার সার শিরোমণি গৌর প্রভুর ধারা
জীবানী সবা অজ্ঞাত ছিল তোমার আশিস জগৎ মাঝারে বর্ষিত হলো গুরুদেব মহারাজ
জীবানী সবার অজ্ঞাত ছিল তোমার আশিসে জগৎ মাঝারে বর্ষিত হল গুরুদেব মহারাজ
পরম ব্রহ্ম পরম পুরুষ প্রমাণ করিলে তুমি নির্বিশেষে নির্বাণ ভাগ তেজিল ভারত ভূমি পরম ব্রহ্ম
পরম পুরুষ প্রমাণ করিলে তুমি নির্বিশেষের নির্বাণ বাদ তেজিল ভারত ভূমি।
নবীন জীবন লোভী মরা তাই উল্লাসে হয়ে মগ্ন, তোমার চরণ বন্দনা করি মোহপাশ করি ভগ্ন।
নবীন জীবন লোভী মরা তাই উল্লাসে হয়ে মগ্ন, তোমার চরণ বন্দনা করি মহাপাশ করি ভগ্ন।
তুমি যদি আজ প্রকাশ না হতে অন্ধ তিমির দৃপ্ত কণ্ঠে কি শোনাতো তবে শ্রী ভগবানের বাণী। তুমি যদি
আজ প্রকাশ না হতে অন্ধ তিমির হানি, তৃপ্ত কণ্ঠে কে শোনাত তবে শ্রী ভগবানের বাণী।
সেই অধিকার শুধু তোমারই সাজে, দণ্ড তোমার হাতে, কৃপা করি অধম জনের নিয়ে চলো তব সাথে।
সেই অধিকার শুধু তোমারে সাজে, দণ্ড তোমার হাতে, কৃপা করিয়ে অধম জনের নিয়ে চল তব সাথে।
সেই অধিকার শুধু তোমারই সাজে, দণ্ড তোমার হাতে, কৃপা করি অধম জনের নিয়ে চলো তব সাথে।
সেই অধিকার শুধু তোমারে সাজে, দণ্ড তোমার হাতে, কৃপা করিয়ে অধম জনের নিয়ে চল তব সাথে।
তুমি যে দেখালে ভক্তির পথ, তুলনা তো তার নয়, শিশিরের মতো উজ্জ্বল আর উচ্ছল তার ঠাই। তুমি যে দেখালে
ভক্তির পথ, তুলনা তো তার নাই, শিশিরের মতো উজ্জ্বল উচ্ছল তার ঠাই।
চির পুরাতন শাশ্বত বাণী নবীন সাজিতে রাজে, তোমার কৃপার প্রকাশ স্বরূপী সারা জগতের মাঝে।
চির পুরাতন শাশ্বত বাণী নবীন সাজেতে রাজে, তোমার কৃপায় প্রকাশ স্বরূপে সারা জগতের মাঝে।
চির পুরাতন শাশ্বত বাণী নবীন সাজিতে রাজে, তোমার কৃপায় প্রকাশ স্বরূপী সারা জগতের মাঝে।
চির পুরাতন শাশ্বত বাণী নবীন সাজেতে রাজে, তোমার কৃপায় প্রকাশ স্বরূপে সারা জগতের মাঝে।
প্রভুপাদ জয় প্রভুপাদ, প্রভুপাদ
जय प्रभुपाद
जय प्रभुपद प्रभुपद जगद्गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद जय
प्रभुपाद 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 शिल प्रभुपाद
जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय
प्रभुपाद 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 प्रभुपाद
निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल
जय गौर हरि बोल
हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी हरि हरि बोल श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय
Vyas who are giving us wonderful association. As we know, Guru Maharaj always celebrated his birthday as Srila Prabhupada Memorial Festival Ki. So he always, as it says, Prabhupada Gata Prana, he always wanted to glorify Srila Prabhupada. So morning we will celebrate Srila Prabhupada Memorial Festival, and we request Hare Krishna. So, some devotees want to hear what Srila Prabhupada wrote to his spiritual master, and that same poem was translated by Guru Maharaj. So, what Srila Prabhupada wrote, we are reading. It can be shown on the LED screen also. Rishabhananda Prabhu. Srila Prabhupada wrote to his spiritual master, Adore, adore, ye all the happy day, blessed than heaven, sweeter than May. When he appeared at Puri, the holy place, my Lord and Master, his divine grace. Second, O my Master, the evangelic angel, give us thy light, lit up thy candle. Struggle for existence, a human race, the only hope, his divine grace. Misled we are all, going astray. Save us, Lord, our fervent pray. Wonder thy ways to turn our face, adore thy feet, your divine grace. Forgotten Krishna, we fallen souls, paying most heavy the illusion's toll. Darkness around all untraced, the only hope, his divine grace. Message of service thou hast brought, a healthful life as Chaitanya wrought, unknown to all, it's full of grace. That's your gift, your divine grace. Sixth, this was very much liked by his spiritual master. And then he told, whatever Abhay Babu writes, print it. Absolute is sentient, thou hast proved, impersonal calamity, thou hast moved. This gives us life anew and fresh. Worship thy feet. Had you not come, who had told the message of Krishna, forceful and bold? That's your right, you have the mass. Save me a fallen. Last one. The line of service as drawn by you is pleasing and healthy like morning dew. The oldest of all, but in new dress, miracle done. Srila Prabhupada ki. So Srila Prabhupada has done wonderful miracle And as yesterday we heard, his miracle is he turned hippies into happies. So we are very fortunate that we have got such wonderful association today here. So we request all the devotees to please come on the stage so that we can hear from them. We request His Holiness Lokanath Swami Maharaj, His Holiness Chandramauli Swami Maharaj, His Holiness Siddharth Swami Maharaj, His Grace Panchagauda Prabhu, His Holiness Bhakti Prabha Swami Maharaj. We request them to please come here, and Krishna Kishore Prabhu, please offer garlands to them. His Grace Shruta Kirti Prabhu. And we can have some Kirtan while they come. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol.